First order update tonight on Wisconsin's legislative maps. Consultants hired to analyze new state legislative boundary lines said one submitted by the Republican legislature and a conservative law firm are partisan gerrymanders. The consultants were hired by the state Supreme Court to examine 6 proposed maps that redraw the state legislative districts. The other 4 from Governor Tony Evers, Democratic lawmakers, and others could be improved based on criteria the court says is important. Those criteria include political neutrality, compactness, contiguity, and among other things. The consultants did not draw their own maps, but said they could quickly do so if the court instructed them to do so. Today's report comes after the state Supreme Court tossed out the current Republican drawn maps. Responses to those reports are due out next week. State Elections Commission says the maps must be in place by March 15th if the new districts will be used in the November elections.